About orgasm, lying and cheating. 11 facts you didn't know about men. Scientists from around the world continue to study the differences between women and men, as well as the psychology and behavior of the stronger sex in different aspects of life. Some scientific facts that scientists have found out about the representatives of the stronger sex can be very useful for women. NV offers a list of interesting discoveries of scientists and psychologists, as well as curious facts about men. 1. Wealth makes a man less attractive in the eyes of women. A study by a group of psychologists, which was published in the scientific journal Personality and Individual Differences, unexpectedly showed that women find men with average income more attractive. Thus, the study of experts in the field of psychology debunked the common myth that women are looking for rich men, and seek to build long-term relationships with them. In particular, the results of the experiment showed the doctors, an attractive man with a high level of income women are likely to prefer a man with a lower level of income. According to the authors of the study, this may be due to the fear and low self-esteem of the woman, who subconsciously believes that she is not worthy of a rich partner, and also feels fear that he will have to share with other ladies. 2. A happy marriage makes a man less attractive. Scientists have proved that a happy marriage negatively affects a man's appearance. Experts have analyzed the level of satisfaction of spouses in marriage, as well as changes in their appearance, and came to the conclusion that happy husbands look less attractive than unhappy men in marriage and bachelors. The results of the study, published in the scientific Journal of Family Psychology, also showed that differences in partners' attractiveness levels can help predict marriage length and marital behavior. In particular, the experiment proved that marriages in which the woman was more attractive than the man were stronger and happier than marriages in which the male beauty predominated over the female beauty. 3. Sense of humor, an indicator of the number of male sexual partners. A study by British scientists showed that men's sense of humor is linked to the amount of testosterone in their blood, the male sex hormone, which is also called the hormone of victory, the hormone of sexuality, and the elixir of virility. According to experts, women are more likely to get into relationships and get acquainted with men with a good sense of humor, which at the instinctive level they are much more attracted to those who cannot joke. Typically, the owners of high levels of testosterone are more prone to make connections on the side. They are also more aggressive. Thus, according to scientists, the better a man's sense of humor, the higher the testosterone level and the more sexual partners he has. Women like middle-income men more than rich men. Copyright Wave Break Media /deposit photos. 4. Poor men prefer plump women, rich men prefer thin women. Psychologists Leif Nelson and Evan Morrison have discovered that men's preferences for women's forms are directly related to their financial situation. So they managed to determine that poor men prefer big women, and men who live in prosperity, slimmer. And they found out that a hungry man is more likely to choose a woman who is puffy and a well-fed man who is skinny. 5. A man can sense a woman's ovulation. Despite the fact that according to the appearance of women you cannot determine when they are ovulating, men can feel this period. At the time of ovulation men find women even more attractive, as evidenced by the study of psychologist Jeffrey Miller. He conducted an experiment with erotic dance performers and found that strippers on the days of peak fertility earn an average of $70 in tips per hour, while on the days of menstruation, only $35, and on other days, $50. A psychologist attributes this to the fact that men register subtle differences in a woman's scent, facial expression, waist-to-hip ratio, or movements. On fertile days, a woman's voice is taller, her breasts are more symmetrical, and her waist-to-hip ratio is accentuated. 6. Sexy televangelists prevent men from remembering information. Attractive televangelists prevent men from perceiving and remembering information. A study published in Communication Research has shown that a woman's attractiveness on the screen has a direct impact on how men perceive information. Thus, the experiment found that men who watched political news, voiced by a sexy woman, remembered the information worse than those who watched the program with a male presenter. 7. 1 in 10 men raises a child who is not his own. Studies of British scientists have shown that on average about 10% of men are raising children who are not their own, without realizing it. In their experiment, experts analyzed the information on the results of genetic examination to establish paternity, as well as data from various surveys. It was found that 1 in 10 men is not the biological father of the child he considers his own. On average, about 10% of men are raising children who are not their own. On average, about 10% of men are raising children who are not their own. 8. Men also fake orgasms. It is commonly believed that only women mimic orgasms, but a study published in the scientific journal The Journal of Sex Research suggests otherwise. According to scientists, about 25% of all men fake an orgasm. The most common reasons men fake in bed are to satisfy their partner's need for a synchronized orgasm, as well as alcohol intoxication and the unattractiveness of the woman. 9. Almost a year of a man's life is spent looking at women. British scientists performed an experiment and found that men spend on average 1 year of their lives staring at beautiful women. The survey showed that the average man spends 43 minutes every day for the inspection of 10 ladies. If you count up to a year, then the total is 259 hours, 11 days. Thus, a man gives 11 months and 11 days to the admiration of women's charms during the period of his life of 18 to 50 years. Women, in turn, are not inclined to admire men for so long, spending half as much time. Men lie twice as much as women. Men tend to lie twice as often as women, according to a survey of British scientists. They found out that men lie to their beloved relatives, friends, and colleagues 6 times a day on average. Women, on average, do it only 3 times, according to scientists. 11. A man's fidelity depends on his IQ. Scientists have found out that the smarter a man is, the less likely he is to cheat on his partner. A group of scientists from the London School of Economics, UK, who analyzed statistical data on male behavior, came to the conclusion that intelligent men are less likely to cheat on their partners. Loyal men have a more developed brain and a higher IQ.